Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, your heart heavy with the weight of dreams that slipped through your fingers? Those quiet moments when regret whispers in your ear, reminding you of opportunities you missed, chances you didn't take, and doors you watched close before your eyes. Maybe it was that relationship you let drift away, that career opportunity you were too afraid to grasp, or that moment of purpose you let pass by. The pain feels almost physical, a deep ache in your chest that reminds you of what could have been. But what if I told you that those lost dreams, those missed chances, those seemingly closed doors, they're not the end of your story? What if the very things that keep you awake at night, the regrets that haunt your quiet moments, could become the foundation of something far more beautiful than you ever imagined? What if God has been waiting all this time, not to simply restore what was lost, but to give you something so much greater that it will take your breath away? Today, we're going to journey deep into the heart of divine restoration. We'll explore stories of people who thought everything was lost, only to discover that their greatest setback was actually setting them up for their most magnificent comeback. You'll discover how God takes our broken pieces, our missed opportunities, our failed attempts, our shattered dreams, and creates a masterpiece that leaves us in awe of His restorative power. This isn't just another message about hope. This is about real transformation, divine intervention, and the miraculous power of a God who specializes in turning mourning into dancing, ashes into beauty, and endings into breathtaking new beginnings. If you've ever felt like you missed your moment, if you've ever wondered if it's too late for your dreams to come true, if you've ever questioned whether God could really restore what seems irreparably lost, this message is for you. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you're going to see your past regrets, your present struggles, and your future possibilities in a completely different light. You're about to discover that with God, nothing, absolutely nothing, is beyond restoration. And your greatest chapter might just be about to begin. Think about that dream you've tucked away in the deepest corner of your heart. That whisper of possibility you've almost convinced yourself to forget. We all carry these hidden places of disappointment, these moments where life seemed to say no when every fiber of our being was crying out for a yes. Some of us have been carrying these burdens for so long that they've become part of who we are, like shadows following us through every triumph and trial. But today, something is about to shift in your spirit. Today, we're going to unlock a truth so powerful that it has the potential to completely transform how you see your past, your present, and most importantly, your future. You see, in God's kingdom, there's a principle that defies human logic and transcends natural understanding. It's the principle of divine restoration, where God doesn't just repair what's broken, He reimagines it into something far more magnificent than we could have dreamed. Think about this for a moment. When God restored Job's life, He didn't just give him back what he lost, He doubled it. When God restored Peter after his denial, He didn't just forgive him, He made him a pillar of the early church. When God restored Ruth's broken life, He didn't just provide for her, He placed her in the lineage of Jesus Christ. This is the God we serve, a God who takes our endings and turns them into beginnings, who takes our failures and transforms them into testimonies. But let's be honest for a moment. Sometimes the pain of missed opportunities feels too real, too raw to even imagine restoration. Maybe you're sitting there right now, thinking about that business that failed, that relationship that crumbled, that ministry that never took off, that dream that seems forever out of reach. The enemy wants you to believe that these losses define you, that these missed opportunities are the period at the end of your story. But I'm here to tell you that in God's kingdom, periods can become commas, endings can become transitions, and what looks like a devastating loss can become the foundation for your greatest victory. Consider the story of Joseph. Sold into slavery by his own brothers, imprisoned for years on false charges, forgotten by those who promised to help him. From a human perspective, every opportunity in his life had been stolen. His dreams of leadership seemed like cruel jokes in the face of his reality. But God wasn't finished writing his story. Every setback, every disappointment, every missed opportunity was actually a divine setup for a comeback that would save nations. What looked like rejection was actually protection. What appeared to be delay was actually preparation. What felt like loss was actually positioning for greater purpose. This is where many of us find ourselves, in that space between what was lost and what is yet to be restored. It's a sacred space, though it rarely feels that way. It's in the space that God does His deepest work in us, preparing us for a level of restoration that our hearts could never have been ready for otherwise. You see, sometimes God's restoration looks different than what we imagined, because His vision for our lives is so much greater than our own. Let me speak to those of you who have been carrying the weight of too late on your shoulders. Perhaps you feel like you've missed your season, like the opportunities that once seemed so bright have faded beyond reach. Maybe you've even tried to convince yourself that it's okay, that you've made peace with your losses. But deep inside, in those quiet moments when you're truly honest with yourself, the ache of what could have been still lingers. Here's a truth that's about to set your spirit free: God's restoration isn't limited by time, circumstance, or human logic. The same God who brought water from rock, who made the sun stand still, who raised the dead to life, that same God is looking at your situation right now. He sees every tear you've cried over lost opportunities. He's kept track of every dream you thought had died. And He's declaring over your life, this story isn't over. Think about the disciples after Jesus' crucifixion. They had left everything to follow Him, invested their whole lives in what they believed was their one shot at purpose and destiny. When He died, it seemed like every opportunity died with Him. Their dreams, their hopes, their future, all sealed behind a tomb. But 3 days later, God didn't just restore their hope, He exceeded their wildest expectations. What looked like the end became the beginning of a movement that would change the world forever. That's the kind of restoration God specializes in, the kind that doesn't just return what was lost, but revolutionizes our entire understanding of what's possible. When God restores, He doesn't just repair the old, He creates something new. He doesn't just heal the wound, He makes us stronger at the broken places. He doesn't just give us a second chance, He gives us a new vision that makes our original dreams look small in comparison. But here's the key that many of us miss: God's restoration often begins with our revelation. We have to see ourselves the way He sees us, not as victims of missed opportunities, but as vessels of His unlimited potential. We have to start speaking His language of possibility over our impossible situations. We have to begin declaring His promises over our problems. Let's get practical for a moment. What does this mean for you, right now, in the midst of your situation? It means that the business that failed can become the foundation for greater success. The relationship that ended can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections. The ministry that stalled can explode with new purpose and impact. The dream that seemed to die can resurrect with greater clarity and power than ever before. But restoration requires something from us. It requires us to position ourselves for God's miraculous intervention. This means we have to release the grip of regret. You can't receive God's new with hands still clutching the old. Let go of the what-ifs and embrace the what can be. Realign our perspective. Stop seeing your losses as final verdicts and start seeing them as temporary transitions. God's delays are not His denials. Receive His new vision. Sometimes God's restoration looks different than what we expected because His plans for us are better than anything we could have imagined. Remember His faithfulness. Look back at the times God has come through in your life. His track record of faithfulness is your foundation for future faith. Right now, in this very moment, God is working behind the scenes of your life. He's aligning circumstances, preparing hearts, and orchestrating events for your restoration. Those opportunities you thought were lost forever? They were seeds being planted for a harvest beyond your imagination. Some of you need to hear this: your age doesn't disqualify you. Your mistakes don't define you. Your past doesn't determine your future. With God, restoration is always possible, always available, always within reach. He's not intimidated by your impossible situation. He's not limited by your limitations. He's not bound by your boundaries. Imagine for a moment what true restoration would look like in your life. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Now, multiply that vision by 10, because God's plans for you are bigger than your biggest dreams. His restoration is more complete than your most hopeful imagination. As we wrap up this journey together, I want you to make a decision. Choose today to believe in the God of restoration. Choose to believe that your story isn't over, that your best days aren't behind you, that your greatest opportunities are still ahead. Let every reminder of past loss become a trigger for praise, knowing that God is working all things together for your good. Remember, in God's economy, nothing is wasted. Every tear, every disappointment, every missed opportunity becomes raw material in His hands, precious elements He uses to craft a masterpiece of restoration in your life. Your time of restoration isn't just coming, it's already begun. Open your eyes to see it, open your heart to receive it, and open your life to walk in it. And as you step into this new season of restoration, carry this truth with you. With God, it's never too late for a new beginning. It's never too late for a dream to be resurrected. It's never too late for an opportunity to be restored. Because in His kingdom, restoration isn't just a possibility, it's a promise. And that promise has your name on it. Your journey of restoration starts now. Walk forward in faith, knowing that the God who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. Your story of loss is about to become your testimony of restoration. And the best part, this is only the beginning. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your season of divine restoration. Embrace it. Believe it. Walk in it. Your greatest chapter is just beginning. Let me leave you with this final thought. As the sun rises tomorrow morning, you have a choice to make. You can wake up carrying the same weight of missed opportunities and lost dreams, or you can rise with a new vision, a vision of divine restoration that's already unfolding in your life. The choice is yours. Take a moment right now. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Feel the weight of those missed opportunities, those regrets, those what-ifs that have been haunting you. Now, in this sacred moment, release them into God's capable hands. Let every tear you've cried become a seed for future harvest. Let every disappointment become the foundation for divine restoration. Here's my challenge to you, starting today, when those memories of missed opportunities try to steal your peace, counter them with this declaration: my God is the God of restoration. What I thought was lost is becoming something greater. My best days are not behind me, they're still ahead. Remember, in God's kingdom, no dream is too dead to resurrect, no opportunity is too lost to restore, and no story is too far gone to rewrite. Your journey of restoration doesn't begin tomorrow, it begins right here, right now, in this moment of surrender and belief. This isn't just a message you've heard, this is a divine appointment with destiny. God hasn't brought you here by accident. He's been waiting for this very moment to begin His masterpiece of restoration in your life. The story isn't over. The dream isn't dead. The opportunity isn't lost. This is just the beginning. Your season of divine restoration starts now. If this message has stirred something deep within your spirit, don't let this moment pass without taking action. Here's what I want you to do right now. First, take out your phone, pause this video, and set a daily reminder for the next 21 days. Title it "My Restoration Journey Begins Now." Because transformation starts with daily dedication, and I want you to remember this moment, this divine appointment with destiny. Second, in your notes or journal, write down these 3 powerful declarations. Say them out loud every morning when you wake up and every night before you sleep. I am not defined by my past losses. God is restoring everything the enemy has stolen. My greatest opportunities are still ahead of me. Third, I've created a special 7-day prayer guide called Praying Your Way to Restoration. Click the link in the description below to download it. This isn't just another prayer guide, it's your daily blueprint for partnering with God in your restoration journey. Fourth, share your restoration story in the comments below. What dream are you believing God to restore? Your testimony could be exactly what someone else needs to hear to keep believing for their own miracle of restoration. Finally, and most importantly, don't let this message be just another video you watched. Make a decision right now. Stop this video, get on your knees, and have an honest conversation with God about those dreams you thought were dead, those opportunities you thought were lost forever. He's listening, and He's ready to begin His work of restoration in your life. If this message has touched your heart, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Every week, we're releasing new content designed to help you walk in the fullness of God's restoration power. Remember, your restoration story isn't just for you, it's for everyone watching you, waiting to see if God really can restore what seems lost forever. Your breakthrough is connected to your boldness to believe and act right now. Don't wait another moment. Don't let another opportunity slip away. Your season of restoration is here. Take action now. The time is now. The moment is here. Your restoration awaits.